In this video, we'll tell you what it's like to go on a Disney cruise these days.
Yes, we were boarding the Disney ship. So excited.
Yeah, but before we talk about that, let's back up a little bit and talk about what happened before cruise day. Because before cruise day, back when we were booking the cruise, things were a little different. Um, there are new requirements, such as before you go on your cruise, if you're 12 or older, you need to get that special shot you may have heard about. And you need to upload that information on Disney Cruises partner website. And anyone under the age of 12 has to take a special test before the cruise. And then the day of the cruise.
We drove to the port on the cruise day. We paid for our parking, got our test, and waited in the car.
That's right. The medical professional supervised us doing the test for ourselves. And then they said, go park in the parking garage and you'll get a text message when you're cleared to go on the ship. And we waited in the car, played music, just talked and had the air conditioning on. That was nice. And there was told us where a restroom was if we needed it. They said it'd be about 45 minutes. It really probably was only about half an hour.
Yeah.
So it didn't take long at all. And then we got that text message. A text message saying we were both cleared for boarding.
Yay.
So we headed through security.
We went to the terminal, and the terminal was empty, as you can see, but it was decorated for Christmas, so that was fun.
And then it was time to board. And just like normal, we were greeted. They announced our name for everyone to hear. And as we walked past the welcoming crew, it was a little different because they were wearing masks, but otherwise it was pretty much the same.
And we were directed to stand in our circle, in our gold circle, and wait for the other families to stand in their circle before they started the show.
Yeah, and when we looked up above in the balcony, we could see Mickey and Minnie, and they were waving and greeting everyone. And we waited while the other families were being ushered into the gold Mickey heads, and then it was time for a show welcoming us on board. Mickey and Minnie, great fun music, just like any Disney cruise. And then they sent us up to deck 4, told us to go to our muster station, and there was someone waiting to explain to us what to do in case of an emergency. And we used our app to learn about what happens if something goes wrong when we're called to our muster station. And we were asked to confirm on our individual apps on our phones that we had done the muster drill and we understood what we needed to know. And what about the crowds?
There wasn't really any crowds. I mean, we were able to walk where we wanted to, and we didn't have to wait in lines.
Yeah, and even in the pool area where it's usually the center of activity and tons of people, it was pretty empty. And there weren't as many chairs, and the chairs that were there were plenty of empty ones. And even at night, when there were activities, it was a lot more spread out and not near as crowded. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Going around to the different shops on board, again, plenty of empty space and no crowds.
No lines.
Yeah, it was really nice. We were able to get some nice photos and talk to the crew and didn't feel rushed at all. So that was great. And we did some activities, including the animation class, where they had us all spread out, masked until we sat down, and then we started drawing and enjoying the class. Same with the mixology class. Instead of standing at the bar like you normally would for a mixology class, they had us at individual tables with our drinks prepared for us, and we sat there and enjoyed it like normal. There's also some new rules on this cruise that we should talk about. For example,
if you were inside, you needed to wear a mask at all times, but once you were seated, you didn't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, and if you were outside on the ship or outside on a private island, you didn't need to wear a mask either unless you couldn't be socially distanced. But the crew, whether on the island or on the ship, they were wearing masks at all times, and they were being as friendly and helpful as always. They also were being extra sure that we knew we need to use the hand sanitizer and that we needed to use the automated hand washing stations when they had them, like in the kids club.
Yeah, those were so cool.
Yeah, they were. And then other activities on board and on the island, they had the areas roped off to keep people kind of spread out and away from the crew, the entertainers. And so you could still have a lot of fun, enjoy the Christmas music, and see the characters and everything. If you wanted soda or you wanted ice cream, instead of getting it yourself, you would go and a crew member get it for you, right? And what about dining at the main dining rooms?
Main dining rooms were great. They seated you every other table, and it wasn't really crowded at all, so you were able to eat comfortably. And then when we go to Palo, there it was also socially distanced, and it wasn't crowded at all either.
Yeah, there was plenty of room, and at the Apollo brunch was a little different. The last time we were on Disney, they had it set out like a normal buffet, and you kind of told them what you wanted. They put it on a plate for you. But this time, it was served as an appetizer, like at a regular sit-down full-service restaurant. Which, I understand that's safer and less people walking around. What about cabanas?
Yeah, so cabanas, you went to the food station, and you pointed out what you wanted, and they would serve you.
Yeah, so they grabbed the food for you instead of you grabbing the food, and they had barriers up in front of the food, so there was a separation between you and the servers as well.
Right, but you were still able to get all that you wanted to eat.
At this point, we want to ask you a favor. Please hit the thumbs up down below to like this video. It really helps us out, and we do appreciate it. Now, let's talk about meeting and greeting the characters.
Yeah, the characters were roped off, as you can see, but you were still able to interact with the characters.
Yeah, you get your picture taken too with them.
Right, and they did it really well where the the characters the kids were still able to interact with the characters.
Yeah, like here, there's Cinderella, and she's on a circle, a local circle, and the little girl is, and they still found a way to, like you said, interact and make eye contact, but be socially distanced. It was really cute how they did it.
Hmm.
So, kudos to Disney for keeping that experience alive. Be sure you get your copy of our Disney Dream Ship Guide. It tells you what's on board, where to find things, what costs extra, and you can get your copy and download it to your device, take it on your cruise. You can find it in the description below. Now let's talk about the ports. Starting with Nassau, a public port we went to. It was pretty much just like Nassau normally is, except for they're doing some construction. But they did have a special rule. Any families traveling with those under 12 years old had to go in a Disney organized excursion group. They could not go off on their own. Now, Castaway Cay, the private island, was a little different, right?
Yes, it was more relaxed, and everyone could get off if they wanted to to explore Castaway Cay. There were no crowds, and it was you could just not have to wear a mask because you're outside.
Yeah, it
So
was pretty much like normal. Now, some areas where you'd be in line, like waiting for the tram, they did have some social distancing set up. They'd encourage you to wear the masks, and they boarded the trams every other row. So it kept people apart. So that was a little different, but it was less crowded. And food on the island was served just like in cabanas, right?
correct, you would point to what you wanted and tell them how many scoops you wanted to
Mhm.
eat, and you could get as much or as little as you wanted to eat.
Be sure to watch us live on YouTube on Monday nights, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We talk about cruise topics, we have guests and interviews, and a lot of fun. So, overall, what did you think of our Disney cruise?
It was great to be on board, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, being a Christmas cruise, a holiday cruise, it made it extra special, but some things felt a little different, like having to wear masks at certain times, and of course the testing and other requirements ahead of time. But otherwise, a lot of fun.
It was still a lot of fun. Remember to order your Mickey ice cream bars in the evening.
You love those Mickey ice cream bars. Yes, you can get those ordered through room service, and you can also get the cake of the day. I
Yes.
know you like that idea.
Hmm.
Disney cruises, a lot of fun, even with the new normal. We definitely recommend that, and we can't wait to take our next one. We hope this has been helpful, and if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe with the notification bell on. It's just a way to follow us, doesn't cost anything. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.